Your local nursery is keeping secrets from you. While they're selling you tomato seedlings for $8 a pop, there's a plant sitting in the corner that costs them 50 cents to grow and sells for $40. They know it, you don't. And that's exactly how they like it. So what are these mystery crops that turn pennies into serious cash? Because we're about to expose the 7 most profitable plants you can grow from seed. And trust me, number 4 is going to make you rethink your entire garden. Let's get something straight right off the bat. When we talk about profitable crops, we're not talking about filling your backyard with acres of corn. We're talking about high-value, low-space crops that you can grow in a regular suburban yard, a greenhouse, or even a decent-sized patio. These are plants where a single seed packet costing $3 can turn into hundreds or even thousands of dollars in sales. The math is ridiculous, and once you see it, you'll wonder why anyone bothers with anything else. Now, before we dive into the list, you need to understand why nurseries don't advertise these plants. It's simple economics. They want you buying their seedlings, their transplants, their marked-up inventory. If everyone knew they could grow these high-value plants from seed for basically nothing, the nursery business model falls apart. So they focus on the stuff everyone knows: tomatoes, peppers, basil, the basics. Meanwhile, the real moneymakers are sitting there, ignored, waiting for someone smart enough to notice. All right, let's start with number 7. And this one might surprise you. Microgreens. Yeah, those fancy little greens you see at farmers markets for $10 a tiny container. Here's the secret about microgreens. They're just baby vegetables. That's it. You take regular vegetable seeds, radishes, kale, arugula, whatever, and you harvest them when they're only a week or 2 old. Tiny plants, huge profits. The numbers on microgreens are absurd. A single ounce of seed, which costs you maybe $5 to $10, can produce 15 to 20 pounds of microgreens. You're selling those microgreens for anywhere from $25 to $50 per pound to restaurants and at farmers markets. Do the math. That's $375 to $1,000 from a $10 seed packet. And the growing cycle is 7 to 14 days. You can do this year-round indoors under grow lights. No special equipment beyond some trays, soil, and basic lighting. Restaurants love microgreens because they're fresh, they look fancy on plates, and chefs can charge more for dishes that have them. You walk into a nice restaurant and tell the chef you can provide fresh, locally grown microgreens year-round. You've got a customer. And here's the thing, nurseries don't want you to know. Those microgreen kits they sell for $30 or $40, you can replicate that setup for maybe $8 in materials. They're charging you for convenience and ignorance. And this one has a cult following among people who know. Gourmet mushrooms. Specifically oyster mushrooms, shiitake and lion's mane. Technically, mushrooms aren't grown from seeds. They're grown from spores or spawn, but the principle is the same. You start with something cheap and grow something expensive. Mushroom spawn costs about $15 to $25 per bag, and that bag can produce 10 to 20 pounds of mushrooms over multiple harvests. Gourmet mushrooms sell for $12 to $20 per pound at farmers markets. Sometimes more at specialty stores. You're looking at $120 to $400 from a single spawn bag. The profit margin is stupid. And mushrooms are fast. Oyster mushrooms can fruit in as little as 7 days from when you set up your growing block. You can be selling mushrooms within 2 weeks of starting. They grow in low light, they don't need soil, and they thrive in spaces that wouldn't work for regular plants. Got a basement, a closet, a shady corner of your garage? You can grow mushrooms there. Here's what nurseries won't tell you. Mushroom growing kits they sell for $25 to $40. They're mostly making money on packaging and marketing. The actual spawn inside cost them maybe $3. Get some straw or sawdust and you're in business. The hardest part is maintaining humidity, and even that's solved with a cheap plastic tote and a spray bottle. Number 5 on the list, and this one's a game changer for small spaces. Ginseng. Not the wild stuff that takes 15 years to mature. We're talking about American ginseng that you can harvest in 3 to 5 years. Or even better, sell as rootlets after just 1 year. The numbers on ginseng are borderline offensive to other crops. Ginseng seeds cost about $30 to $50 per pound, and a pound contains roughly 6,000 to 8,000 seeds. You can grow about 100 ginseng plants in a 10 by 10 foot shaded area. After 1 year, those plants have produced rootlets you can sell for $1 to $3 each. After 3 years, the roots sell for $30 to $80 per pound. And mature ginseng roots can fetch even more. Some premium roots sell for hundreds of dollars each. The catch with ginseng? It needs shade, it needs patience, and it needs the right climate. You're looking at hardwood forest conditions or artificial shade structures. But if you've got the space and the patience, ginseng is passive income. You plant it, you let it grow, you harvest when it's ready. You're not out there watering and fertilizing constantly like with vegetables. Nurseries don't push ginseng because it doesn't fit their business model. They want you coming back every spring for new plants. Ginseng is a long-term investment. You plant it once and forget about it for years. That doesn't generate repeat customers. But for you, that's free money sitting in the ground, appreciating in value. Now we get to number 4. And this is where things get interesting. Saffron. Yeah, the spice that costs more per ounce than gold. You probably think saffron is some exotic, impossible-to-grow plant that only thrives in remote Persian mountains. Wrong. Saffron comes from a crocus flower, and it grows in a shocking number of climates. Saffron crocus corms, those are basically bulbs, cost about $1 to $3 each. You plant 50 to 100 of them in a small raised bed. Each corm produces 1 to 3 flowers per year, and each flower produces 3 saffron threads. You need about 150 flowers to produce 1 ounce of dried saffron. That ounce sells for anywhere from $50 to $150 depending on quality and market. Let's do the math on a small operation. You plant 100 corms for $200. Those 100 corms produce 200 flowers on average. That's 600 threads, which is about 4 ounces of dried saffron. You sell that for $200 to $600 in year 1. Every year after that is pure profit because the corms multiply. After 3 years, your original 100 corms have turned into 300 or 400. You're producing a pound or more of saffron annually. That's potentially thousands of dollars from a 10-square-foot garden bed. The work is in the harvesting. You pick the flowers by hand, pull out the red threads by hand, and dry them carefully. It's tedious. But here's the thing about tedious work. Most people won't do it, which means the supply stays low and the prices stay high. You're willing to sit there and pluck threads from flowers? You get rewarded. Nurseries barely mention saffron. They'll sell you the corms if you ask, but they don't advertise them. Why? Because saffron doesn't fit the garden center aesthetic. It's not showy. It blooms in fall when nothing else is happening, and it doesn't fill space. But profit per square foot? Saffron destroys almost everything else. Number 3 is going to make vegetable gardeners reconsider their life choices. Lavender. Specifically, lavender plants grown from seed or cuttings and sold as transplants. The lavender essential oil and dried flower market is huge. But the real money is in selling plants. Lavender seeds cost about $5 per packet with maybe 100 seeds. Your germination rate might be 50%, so you get 50 plants from that packet. Those plants need about 6 months to reach sellable size. At that point, you're selling them for $5 to $12 each. At farmers markets, plant sales or online. That's $250 to $600 from a $5 seed packet. But wait, there's more. Those lavender plants you grew. Take cuttings. Each mature plant can give you 10 to 20 cuttings. Those cuttings root in 4 to 6 weeks. Now your 50 plants have generated 500 to 1,000 new plants. You've basically got an infinite plant factory. Sell half, keep half for more cuttings, and you've got a business. The lavender essential oil game is lucrative too, but it requires distillation equipment. The plant sales, that just requires pots, soil, and patience. And here's the kicker. People pay premium prices for lavender because it's trendy. It's cottage core. It's rustic. It makes gardens smell nice. You can charge more for the aesthetic than you can for actual utility. Nurseries sell lavender, obviously, but they're buying their stock from wholesale growers for $2 to $4 per plant and marking it up to $15 or $20. You eliminate the middleman, grow from seed, and pocket the difference. Plus, you can offer varieties that big box stores don't carry. Specialty lavenders, unusual colors. That's where you command even higher prices. Number 2. is for people willing to think outside the traditional garden box. Bamboo. Now hold on. Don't click away. I'm not talking about the invasive running bamboo that takes over neighborhoods and ruins friendships. I'm talking about clumping bamboo varieties that stay put and generate absurd amounts of money. Bamboo plants, the nice clumping varieties, sell for $40 to $200 depending on size and species. You can start bamboo from seed, though it's slow, or you can divide existing clumps. Each division can become a new plant. A single mature clumping bamboo can be divided into 10 to 20 new plants every few years. You're selling those divisions for $40 minimum each. That's $400 to $4,000 from one parent plant. But here's where bamboo gets really profitable. Bamboo shoots. Some species produce edible shoots that sell for $10 to $20 per pound fresh. A mature bamboo clump can produce 20 to 50 pounds of shoots per year. That's $200 to $1,000 annually from a plant that requires almost zero maintenance. You water it, you harvest shoots in spring. Done. The other bamboo income stream is selling poles. Bamboo poles, the actual canes, sell for $1 to $5 each depending on length and thickness. People use them for garden stakes, crafts, construction, furniture, everything. A mature bamboo grove produces dozens of harvestable poles per year. You cut them, let them dry, and sell them. Nurseries sell bamboo, but they really don't want you knowing how easy it is to propagate. They want you buying their marked-up container plants. They definitely don't want you knowing that you can turn one $50 bamboo plant into a multi-$1,000 annual income stream. That information cuts into their profits. And finally, number one on the list. The crop that makes every other crop look like amateur hour. Specialty hot peppers. Not regular bell peppers or jalapenos. Rare varieties and specialty types that pepper enthusiasts go crazy for. Here's the economics of specialty peppers. A seed packet with 10 seeds costs $3 to $8. You germinate 8 plants. Each plant produces 30 to 100 peppers, depending on variety. You're selling those peppers fresh for $1 to $3 each at farmers markets. Or you're drying them and selling them for even more. Or you're making hot sauce, pepper flakes, or powder and multiplying the value again. But the real money in specialty peppers is selling the plants themselves. Pepper enthusiasts will pay $10 to $25 for a healthy plant of a rare variety. You start 100 plants from a $20 investment in seeds. You sell them in spring for $15 each. That's $1,500 from $20 in a couple months of time. And here's the beautiful part about peppers. They're compact. You can grow dozens of plants in a small greenhouse or under lights. They produce heavily. One plant can give you hundreds of seeds for next year. Those seeds are worth money too. Rare pepper seeds sell for 50 cents to $2 per seed. You save seeds from your best plants and sell them online. People buy them. The community is obsessed. The pepper market has exploded in recent years. Hot sauce culture, YouTube pepper challenges, garden Instagram, all of it drives demand for rare and super hot varieties. Ghost peppers, Carolina Reapers, chocolate habaneros, lemon drop peppers, you name it. If it's unusual or extremely hot, people want it, and they'll pay. Nurseries sell peppers, but they stick to the common varieties. They'll have jalapenos, maybe some habaneros. They're not stocking Agicharapita or CGN 21500. Why? Because those don't sell in volume to casual gardeners. But to enthusiasts, those rare varieties are gold. You grow them, you've got a built-in market of people who can't find them anywhere else. Let's talk about starting a specialty pepper business, because it's actually doable for most people. You need seeds, growing medium, containers, and either a sunny window or cheap grow lights. You start seeds in late winter, grow them out for 8 to 12 weeks, and sell them in spring at farmers markets or online. Your costs are maybe 50 cents to $1 per plant including soil, container, and labor. You sell them for $10 to $15. The math works, and you can scale this. Start with 50 plants. See how it goes. Next year do 200. Eventually you're running hundreds or thousands of plants. People have turned this into full-time businesses from backyards and small greenhouses. It's not theoretical. It's happening right now. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Why isn't everyone doing this if it's so profitable? Because it requires work, not backbreaking labor, but consistent attention. You've got to start seeds, transplant seedlings, water, monitor for pests, and actually sell the products. Most people don't want to do that. They want their garden to be a hobby, not a side business. But for people willing to put in even a small amount of effort, the returns are massive. You're not farming 40 acres. You're optimizing a few hundred square feet for maximum profit. That's doable. That's actionable. That's something you can start next growing season with a couple $100s and some determination. The other barrier is knowledge. People don't know which crops are profitable because the information isn't mainstream. Gardening media focuses on the basics. Nurseries aren't going to educate you out of being their customer. You have to seek out this information, which you're doing right now by watching this video. One more thing worth mentioning. Combining these crops creates multiple income streams. You grow microgreens for quick cash flow, while your ginseng matures for long-term profit. You sell lavender plants in spring and saffron threads in fall. You've got pepper plants generating income, bamboo shoots in the background, and mushrooms fruiting year-round. It all stacks. The beautiful thing about high-value crops is they don't require huge spaces. You can run a profitable micro-farm from a suburban backyard. People are doing 5 figures annually from a quarter acre or less. The limiting factor isn't space. It's knowledge and willingness to execute. Here's your action plan. Pick 2 or 3 crops from this list that fit your climate, space, and interest level. Start small, grow 20 plants, see what works, learn the market. Scale up the next year. Don't try to do everything at once. Master one crop, add another, build gradually. Farmers markets are great for direct sales at premium prices. Local restaurants and specialty stores are great for wholesale with consistent volume. Online sales work for dried products, seeds, and plants that ship well. CSA boxes, subscription models, all of it works if you build relationships with customers. The profits from these crops can fund bigger projects, pay for your entire gardening hobby, or turn into actual income. It's not going to make you a millionaire overnight, but it absolutely can generate thousands or tens of thousands annually from a backyard operation. And that beats the hell out of spending money on gardening without getting anything back. Thanks for watching. If you want more videos on profitable gardening and stuff the big nurseries don't want you to know, hit subscribe. More content coming soon.